Okay, in this part of the video, I'm just going to walk around and review my layout and talk about some of the stuff I've changed, or at least started to change, and what I hope to also change. There's one of my little sensors there. There's another one here. I'm going to have to redo these. I had to move that closer to the track, so I'm going to have to redo that foam. And so yeah, I've got some guardrails to put up along there. I took out the Santa Fe tower, and I'm putting this little docking thing in here. Gives me a little more options for operations. I had to take that off, and because when I was testing that track, my locomotive got stuck, and I couldn't imagine why. Well, one of the track nails had come up a little too high when I was installing the wire holders underneath with a hammer. So I'm glad I hadn't locked that down, but I do plan to go ahead and cover that up. It just looks so bad, and I'm going to assume that I won't have trouble in there again. These are my two sensors. I added this top on my pull-out shelf, so I have extra room to put my computer. And then I set up a toggle switch back in there so I can shift between a computer and my MRC Wi-Fi device, which is under there. So that's handy. My space was pretty tight in there. I don't think I'm going to cover up that crack, although I'll give that some thought. I had some track buckling over the summer with the heat in this garage. I fixed a couple of spots, but I have one here that's really pretty bad. I think you can see how that is really shifted there, so I got to fix that. Got to put in my cemetery. I have cemetery, and I have people to have a funeral in the upcoming drama series. I'm putting another dock here. Give me another option. I haven't finished this area. I've pulled the trees out and messed with that, so that's something I got to work on. I put another unloading dock over there. Kind of clean that up a little bit. And let's see, here's a sensor between the tracks. I got those, and at some point I'm going to have to finish the wall on this thing. I've been avoiding that because it's going to be a pain in the butt to do. And every time I walk by here, I tend to knock over one of my trees, and they just kind of pop off, so I have to put those back on. Just normal maintenance on this layout in my garage. I got to clean up my track. I showed off my cleaning car, but I really haven't run it across all the track. I just got to the point when I got home that I just didn't feel like working on this layout. And I think everybody that gets in the hobby for a while gets to that point where they're just kind of sick of working on it. So I didn't do a lot for, I don't know, about a month. But I'm back now, so one more section. Okay, in this part of the video, I'm going to show you how I'm running my layout with my iPad, and I'm using the functions on JMRI for Y-throttle and the JMRIWeb server. You set those down here off these menus here on the tools. So I've started both those up. Those closed. So this is my layout. The blue buttons on this view are the turnouts, and they're all closed. That's what the blue means, is they're closed. And so I'm going to try to get my iPad up in front of you here to show you. Okay, so here's my newest iPad. It's a 4. I think it works. This is Y-throttle. I got two controls set up. and you can see it's reading the functions off the new BLI locomotive. And you've seen these before. That's really, kind of standard. And you shift over this way, you can now see the routes I've set up. And then you can see all the turnouts and their names, or you can just use a number pad to change the turnouts. Let me just show you one of the routes here. This top one is for the co-op to go from the first level on the other side up to the mill. So I'm going to touch that, and you'll see on the screen some red dots now where it's changed the turnouts. Now, what I'll do is I'll check to make sure that the sensor 31 is not triggered. If it is triggered, then I'll have to use the route 2, which is going to take a little different path around that sensor where there's a train setting. So that's how easily you can set up your routes, and then you can change individual turnouts if you want to. So I'm going to just change this to. You can see how he's changed. Now, what's really neat is as I'm walking around on the other side of the layout, I don't remember what these numbers are. This is a little confusing. So I touch this down here, and then it shows me the actual layout. That's really cool. And I want to change these back. I just touch them, and it changes them over on the computer too. So if I want to go back to my throttle, I touch throttle, and yeah. So this is called web server down there. So I touch it again, and now I have my view of the layout. These little buttons are supposed to start the locomotives. They're not working right now. But the nice thing about this web server is you can go over here and look at all the roster entries. So I can look at all my SP entries. That's a little small. So you can change this font. I can look at the tables. So I can look at all the turnout tables if I want to. I can probably change them off here. I haven't tried that. But yeah, I think that's really cool. And we can go back here to this. And if I had more layouts, I could change between them here. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. Wanted to share it with you. Now, just one more thing. Earlier in the video, I mentioned I was having trouble with my layout. One of the problems I was having is my trains were shorting out on the reversing loop. And I didn't have this trouble last year because I wasn't running my Arduino through the reversing loops. So what was happening is the circuit protection on the Arduino was triggering before the reversing loop device could trigger. So what I did is I bought a new motor from the DCCEX guys, and I'll have a picture of this in here at the end of this video, and it has pushes out a lot more power to the track, so it does not have that problem shorting out when the tripping the circuit breaker when the reversing loop hits. And then I also got a new Wi-Fi card for this. I was having trouble with the Wi-Fi card here in my garage for some reason. I can't get my MRC Wi-Fi to work in this garage, and I couldn't get my other maker fab to work, but this one from DCCEX works fine. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you. If you're having trouble with a reversing loop on an Arduino, get one of these new guys. Okay, in this part of the video, I'm going to just talk about some of the little things I bought lately. It's kind of a mail call. I got this little truck, Krusty's Pizza truck. Got a Tacos to Go truck. Got a little camper truck. And I got a REA pickup. That's kind of cute. Got some more 3M clamps for wiring. I got a new track cutter. This is, I think, the fourth one I've had since I started this hobby. One of them I actually broke one of the arms off. This one is pretty beat up, so he'll probably get retired. So I like to keep two in case one of them breaks, like I've had happen before. And then the big purchase is a new Paragon Rolling Thunder BLI locomotive. He's a GP20 Southern Pacific 7035. I'll show you the actual locomotive in a minute, but it's got a whole lot of functions. I'll do a review of those here later, but pretty much have to run that with my iPad and Y-throttle because I only have 12 functions on my MRC Wi-Fi.